Hey, everybody.
Hey there, good evening.
Welcome to the Oddcast podcast.
Off the record,
I'm Blackie.
I'm Erica.
Thanks for joining us tonight. Sorry we couldn't have been here last weekend. We were enjoying a much needed vacation.
Yes.
And I'll let Erica talk about that a little bit. Go ahead.
I was off work for the week and I wanted to make the most of the time we had available. So I planned an extended trip in which we started from Nashville, flew to New Orleans, Louisiana.
And might I say that I knew nothing about any of this.
Mm-hmm. It was all a surprise to Chad. And so he had never been there. I had been there one time. And we got a brief overview. We had an excellent tour. We did a bus tour just to get an overview. And it was great. Christopher was our guide, and it was excellent. So we flew from New Orleans to Boston. And I had a surprise for him there. Also wanted to check out the area and Salem. I definitely wanted to check out Salem, Massachusetts. It was awesome.
Home of the witch trials.
Okay. And a great history. We have an extended history there before the witch trials.
Yeah.
It's very important actually. And but it was great. We had an excellent tour guide there and her name was Diane. But so we were in Boston, rented a truck from there at the airport and slowly made our way back to Nashville.
Well, my
airport.
Let me just say that while we were in Boston, she set up for me to meet a friend of mine that we played hockey together 28 years ago. So I hadn't seen him in 28 years or heard from him, but reconnecting was spectacular.
It was awesome. It was very nice meeting him for the first time too. So that was Boston. And then we made our way down into Maryland and Pennsylvania and met Old Line Cryptids crew. That was awesome.
Minus David. Unfortunately, David lives across the world.
Yes. Minus David, but we did get to meet Cindy. So that was awesome too. And then we moved on to Virginia.
And Jeffrey and Jerry.
Well, no, I said the crew.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay, so sorry. Jeffrey and Jerry. And then we moved on to Virginia and we met Billy Schilling, which we've met before, but we got to meet his wife, and she was just incredible too.
Yeah, good people. Very good people.
It was awesome. It was very, we covered a lot of ground. According to the rental company, I drove 1,473 miles. She
drove. I wasn't allowed to because I wasn't on the whatever you have to sign.
Yeah, so I drove that far and it was nice. It was a lot, but it was kind of the purpose of the trip was to see a lot and get an overview of where we might want to take a vacation for a specific location in the future. So it's not really a typical thing, but it's what I had time to do. So, but anyhow, gladly we made it safely back to Nashville and we made it back home. So everything's great. And we did actually, Denise, we did drive through New York, but it was go, go, go.
We did New York, New Jersey.
Yeah, New York.
Just a little bit of New Jersey. Connecticut.
And yeah, it was pretty speedy.
And it's funny because I've been through all of those states when I was a teenager and could have cared less. My parents used to love to go camping, and my dad thought it would be cool to hit the East Coast and go up into Canada, Prince Edward Island, Newfoundland, Nova Scotia, and New Brunswick. And it was really cool. And I loved the ocean side. So getting to do this it kind of brought back a few memories of being a youth.
Yeah. And I already know, I'm like, if we go to Maine, we're going to schedule just a trip for Maine only,
Absolutely.
So there's so much to explore, and we'll probably do a show about that too. We love traveling. I love architecture. So any of the areas I always want to see, what's in the area and what's regional to them. I really appreciate, seeing new things. So,
and let me say before we go any further is that just remember, you only live once. experience as much as you can.
Mhm.
That's kind of where we're at in life right now, is just trying to do whatever we can and meet good people. And so far, this has been the best half of life. The people we've met have been amazing. And that's,
Absolutely.
the people we've met in chat, the people we're going to meet again, people we haven't met yet that we're going to meet. We look forward to it.
Yeah.
And again, thank you for being here this evening. This is going to be a shorter show. But
real quick, Denise said she lives on Long Island, away from the hustle and bustle. We share the same thoughts. We have no interest in ever visiting New York City.
Never.
That's not being hateful or anything. That we just don't. We definitely know now from Boston traffic. Wow.
Yeah.
I've been in heavy traffic before, but it's like a whole nother.
Just
people come out from the darkness,
crazy people
show up on your tail end or on your front end, and I've never experienced anything like that, and I personally have a lot of anxiety traveling, so I think I handled it well, but I could not do that on a daily basis.
Right.
So
if anybody hears any noises in the backgrounds, because now that we're doing the show, here comes thunder and lightning. So we'll like I said, we'll do this pretty quick and get it over with. Today's a big day. I've always been a pro-military guy. My father served, my grandfather served, my uncles have served, my great uncles have served. I didn't serve because I was the one that always got threatened to get sent to military school because of my attitude, and I would rebel against that. But I was also the same person that always put, what do you want to do when you grow up? And it was always be in the military. Anyway, so that's why today's kind of a big day, or this weekend is a big deal. And I see that people post things about what they think Memorial Day is. And it's really night and day difference between Memorial Day and Veterans Day. And we were going to do a show. Go ahead with we were going to do a show this week on mental health. But a friend of ours, her mother had passed, that was going to do it with us. Her mother had passed a week and a half ago, and she kind of still,
she's processing.
Exactly. So we thought we'd throw a quick show together, and here we go. So Memorial Day, the difference between Memorial Day and Veterans Day. Memorial Day, we honor the sacrifice that family members in the service put forth to save, to keep freedom. They sacrificed their lives for our freedom. I don't have anybody in my family. Everybody that served was during and after, before and after conflict, or wasn't in conflict. But that's what Memorial Day signifies. Veterans Day is for, in my eyes, I've read many definitions of it, but Veterans Day is to honor everybody that served in the military, dead or alive, in battle or not in battle. That's what Veterans Day is to me. So when we honor Memorial Day, which was originally called Decoration Day in the 1800s, it's the first Decoration Day was May 30th, 1868. It was instituted as Decoration Day by the Grand Army of the Republic, which is a section of the Union Army at the time. What I found out was that the Southern, what were the Southern people? Confederate women and African Americans were already dressing, putting flags on graves. They were already celebrating a type of Decoration Day back then. So it was already happening. The North started doing it, and it was not long after that they started celebrating both the deaths of anybody that passed, the North or South. And just because, we were all Americans, we were all part of this country, and brother on brother and family member on family member, it was really sad. So they felt that we might as well honor all of those that have fallen for this country in one way or the other. The date was chosen May 30th because it was deemed that there were no battles of significance that took place on May 30th throughout that time. So the North and South agreed to do May 30th as the celebration date. And as we know now, it's changed, but I'll get to that here in a second. Southern communities had their own kind of touchdown there, their own celebrations or mourning or whatever before Decoration Day. Women would go out and they would have picnics too to celebrate the dead. I guess you don't celebrate the dead, but honor the dead. Mm-hmm. And the African Americans at the time probably had to do it, but they were doing it too. And the African Americans in the North were big into this too, of celebrating, because they fought in the battles as well, either free or slaves. After World War I, Decoration Day changed. It became more known as Memorial Day, but that wasn't the technical term. The technical term didn't come around till later. What's this say? Many Southern states not recognizing Memorial Day 1980s. Correct. It was just Decoration Day. Yes, William. It was just their way of honoring their dead at the time. What I found out is over time the name Decoration Day was changed to Memorial Day. The name was recognized by Congress in 1967 under the Uniform Holiday Act, which moved the day to the last Monday of May. And the reason that is so that you could honor the fallen for a whole 3 days rather than just a day. And in my book, they should be honored for more than 3 days. These people they gave their lives for this country. They gave their families up to join the military, and some families obviously never saw their. Absolutely, Denise. And that's kind of, a quick seeing Facebook post over the past, couple days and what people were posting. A lot of people fail to recognize that Memorial Day to me is one of the most important holidays there are, both Memorial Day and Veterans Day, simply because without the people that have served and died in the line of battle, and the people that have served that are still alive, that maybe have passed but were never in battle, those people were always there for this country. Without these people serving, we wouldn't have the freedoms that we have today. We talk about that whenever any political discussion comes up between the right or the left. These rights we have are so important. And for people to, and we'll look at World War II, people were lying about their age to go fight in Germany and France and Egypt and, Japan, everywhere. And you didn't get that with later in wars, because the people that World War II was just a different type of, we were protecting our country. We were attacked. We were they tried to invade us, but didn't work. But Pearl Harbor was attacked, and we fought back. And everybody believed in country. I'll say country over party at the time, because it was all about the United States of America, not about Democrat or Republican. We signed it on. Right, Gary. My dad was lucky enough to be in. I won't say be in during Vietnam, but he never got sent to Vietnam. So, and same with my uncles. They were all aircraft mechanics, and they never got sent off. They were stationed at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. So, when we celebrate this holiday, we need to remember why we celebrate, and it's very important. One thing I would like to ask is if anybody has any relatives that died in battle, I would love for you to post their names, and we would put it up on the screen and honor them. Because again, this is probably the biggest holiday. I know Christmas is a big holiday and everything, but Jesus sacrificed his life for us, and to a different point. These people didn't have to. He didn't have to either. We could go down this whole thing, but the military was a big thing for me.
So if they died in battle or during wartime, it could have been for various reasons, but that is Memorial Day.
Yes, that is Memorial Day. I'm a guy that'll see anybody in a hat that says U.S. Navy veteran, U.S. Army veteran, and I usually go out of my way to thank them for their service. We can't do that with the people that passed away, protecting our freedom. All we can do is celebrate Memorial Day and do the best we can. Honor them with flags on their graves. Here we go. Jeffrey Robinson's second cousin was USMC, United States Marine Corps, and died at Iwo Jima. Thank you, Jeffrey Robinson. Thank you, William.
Thank you.
That's how we need to remember this. Would any Joe Schmo step into the line of battle to protect their nation? And I can tell you right now in time, no. There's we have the select few that would join to protect our country. After the Army, hold on, click on Roberts. Oh, is there other ones? Buck Hinkle, David Hinkle, and several other, too many to list. Thank you, Gary. Robert, my father joined the Navy during the Korean War, so he didn't get drafted into the Army. He was in boot camp, Navy boot camp, when his parents got a letter from Selective Service saying he was drafted. You can't imagine as a parent, I can't imagine as a parent, that your son or daughter got drafted. That's just, Okay, Henry, I'm going to say Gerard. Why Gerard, Vietnam, Hamburger Hill? Hamburg Hill. Sorry. Thank you, Henry, for sharing.
Mm-hmm.
Let's remember when we're celebrating or honoring tomorrow or all weekend is what we should be doing.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things was I'd like to read. I'll find it here. I'm trying to look for the act that was. Can't find it now. And I believe here it is. In year 2000, Congress passed the National Moment of Remembrance Act. And what that says that on 3:00 on Monday, it doesn't matter if you're 3:00 Eastern, 3:00 Central, Mountain, Pacific, whatever, moment of silence for the fallen. And I hope tomorrow that people can do that. It's a simple way to give your respects to those that have fallen. And I think that's really important. And it's the least we can do. Again, we wouldn't be having these picnics. We wouldn't be having these parades or people putting flowers. I'm hoping you can still hear us, by the way. The brain's getting a little heavier. But we wouldn't be able to do any of this without them.
Mm-hmm.
If it was left up to just our politicians, we would probably be stuck in our homes fearful of everything.
Mm-hmm.
But because of these men and women that served and died in the line of battle, we appreciate that and should honor that to its fullest extent.
This one.
What do we got?
Bobby.
Oh, thank you, Bobby.
Thank you, Bobby.
And thank you, friend from Eaton, Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
So do your best this weekend. Honor the fallen. Remember, that's what it's about.
I hope you can hear us.
Yeah.
The rain is picking up.
The rain is really picking up. Always honor our veterans
Mm-hmm.
and our fallen. That is, I can't say it enough. That's where our freedoms come from. And these people, I always said that I would give, if somebody ever attacked our homeland at 57 years old, I would still get involved. That's why I own a lot of guns and or pew-pews, whatever you want to call them. So, okay. Thank you, Robert. Thank you. Said the audio was good.
Okay, awesome.
There's different ways to honor the fallen. And that usually is if you go to a military cemetery, they'll do the flags on the graves, the little flags. They'll put flowers on the graves. We kind of helped out one year at a cemetery in Miamisburg. It was Memorial Day, and we were picking up flags where flags had fallen over and putting them in. And I said I would love to do this all the time. I just think that more people need to, and I think too many people forget, to be honest with you. Excuse me. Parades and ceremonies. A lot of towns have parades to honor the fallen, and I love it. Kids get to be a part of it, and hopefully parents are also teaching them what this is all about. Your VFWs, I know Gary put that up there, are huge into all of this. They'll do donation drives, they'll do ceremonies.
Veterans of Foreign Wars.
Yep. They'll also, like a lot of veterans or motorcycle riders, not all, but a lot are, and they'll do like poker runs to benefit families of the fallen, or to earn money to keep up the cemeteries. And I think that's a big deal. If any of you have been to a lot of these cemeteries, your military are usually your best kept cemeteries. They're taken care of every day. But a lot of these smaller cemeteries where maybe I've seen, where like in the South, Confederate soldiers have been buried, or even in the North, we went to a cemetery up by Put-in-Bay. That was a Confederate cemetery for prisoners of war, but they take care of that. The Sisters of the Confederacy, I think, have a chapter up there, and they take care of the graves up there. So when you're sometime during the weekend, if you could just go pay some visits and go to a military cemetery and pay your honors, and yeah, Rolling Thunder, Jim, that's a big one, absolutely. And so anyway, they do things at the military cemeteries and your VFWs big time. I'm trying to think if I've got more. And if I remember, there was a time when they would use poppies, and people would wear poppies, the little red flower, to honor the fallen. And that's another way that people could do it. Just whatever way you want to do it. Yeah, Patrick, Put-in-Bay on Lake Erie. Yep. It was so odd. She found it, and you go out, you cross into this neighborhood that's very private. You're not allowed to go up any of the roads unless you live there. And then you drive out a little bit, and there's this cemetery with all these Confederate emblems and everything out there, and find out it's where they buried all the prisoners that got taken north as prisoners, I guess. So I already said what Memorial Day means to me, and I can't stipulate that enough. It's just something that I think everybody needs to celebrate, or I don't like to say celebrate because that's horrible. Commemorate. That's probably what we should say. Yes, Gary, me too, and the flag waves every day. Excellent. We usually fly three flags out in front of our house, but we were gone, and the storms are going to be here, and I already had one flag rip out of my post on my front porch, so we left the flags in, and now it's pouring down rain, so I don't want flags out right now. But we always have the American flag and Sons of Liberty flag, and then we'll put an odd Tennessee flag up or something like that. But so anyway, I think pretty much I've asked everybody. Okay, so I've got one more request of everybody, and we can sit and chat, listen to the chat, and do that too in a second.
And we will cover Veterans Day.
So we're gonna do a Veterans Day too.
When that time comes.
We're
gonna follow the same, kind of format where we want you to provide names of the veterans that you know, and
or if you're a veteran,
gladly display that on the show.
Oh wow! Oh wow! That's amazing, William.
I know William has told that before, which is an awesome story. I forget how many kids he said that that they had. But
by the way, we didn't mention when we went to New Orleans, we got to meet Rusty. Had dinner with him and his lovely wife.
Yeah.
It was a great time.
Yes.
So yeah, it was a great time.
It was.
So that's pretty much all I wanted to touch on, because I didn't want to go too deep. There's so many stories about like what city started, was the first Memorial Day parade in, and that's a battle amongst all the Confederate and the Union states of who started it. So we're not going to touch on that, but always add the POWs on. Excellent. Yes. Agreed, Gary. Our POWs that we've never found, our MIAs, we need to honor those for sure. So anyway, that's pretty much all we were going to talk about. We didn't want to make it a long show.
Yeah.
Because
really just to educate.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize the difference between the two. And so
again, I looking at memes on Facebook, it just kind of got like to a point where I think we need to kind of, I'm assuming that most of our people in this chat knew about what Memorial Day actually was, because I believe we have a lot of veterans in here as well. So Cherokee and Rolling Thunder. Oh, wow. Wendell. Cool. Cool. So yeah, because of the weather here, and I don't want to get our computers wet, I don't have anything else to add to the show, but Erica picked a poem that she would like to read about the fallen.
Yes. First, I want to add, like Gary said, there are too many to list. But if you are curious or if you're trying to locate someone in your family that you've heard about, I found a few websites that may help you. The first is dday.org, and they offer a browser necrology project database, and you can search by first name, last name. It also goes into which branch of the military, which war, where they served. It's pretty extensive. It's a nice list. If you are searching for someone, there is another Honor the Fallen, and the website is thefallen.militarytimes.com. It also describes, you can look by year and by month, and that's helpful in a different way. There is also the last one I will mention is there's a civilwartalk.com, and it's an article about Memorial Day, and it also gives some details on how to locate those who we would think of for Memorial Day. So, and then you talked about Decoration Day.
Yeah.
Okay. So the poem I have is called In the Heart of a Soldier, Freedom Isn't Free. And this was found on Poems About Everything website. It's by Valerie Ward. And I believe she is the author. I could not find out for sure, but her website is poemsabouteverything.com. And so this poem, In the Heart of a Soldier, Freedom Isn't Free. In the heart of a soldier, where silence meets the storm, lies the weight of freedom in uniforms worn. Through fields of fury, beneath skies so steep, whispers the creed, freedom isn't free. Silent mourners line the streets of the brave, where the flag flies high over the unnamed grave. Each star and stripe a story untold of the eternal soldier in the earth so cold. In the hush of dawn, when the world is still, echoes the sacrifice, the test of will. For each drop of blood, a price paid in full. In the heart of a soldier, forever dutiful. Freedom isn't free, the living declare, with each breath of freedom, a silent prayer. To those who lie in fields under the sky's dome, we owe the peace of our heart, the warmth of home. So let us remember when we see the free land, it was won by the heart, the strength of the stand. The silent mourners, the eternal soldiers' might, in their honor, we hold our freedoms tight.
There you go. And there's all kind of beautiful poems out there about Memorial Day, and it's just, if you would all do me a favor and just tomorrow, moment of silence at 3:00, 5-10 seconds, it'd be great. Just let those know that are looking down on us that we appreciate everything they've done, and thank all your veteran friends. Thank you, veterans that are here. We'll get into that show on Veterans Day.
Yes.
But you all signed up to protect this great land of ours.
Or we're drafted.
Or we're drafted, yeah. Or we're picked, yeah. So we appreciate it. We hope you all have a great rest of your weekend. I know right now here it's Middle Tennessee, it's starting to rain. It's supposed to rain the rest of the week. So we'll see what happens. But thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
We'll get back to a regular show next week and we'll get the topic figured out. But again, thank you. Hit that thumbs up button. It helps us to try to get the algorithm out there a little bit more. And in memory of great uncle Major David Mullen. Wow, Kim, thank you very much. That's awesome.
Ken.
That's awesome, Ken. Thank you for sharing that.
Mm-hmm.
So when it gets near Veterans Day, we would really like, we would like everybody to, we would like a list of people, names that we can run while we're doing our show. Because we want, I know a lot of people out there are veterans, and a lot of, I know I have at least 5, 6, or 7 veterans in my family passed away and living. So when we do our Veterans Day show, hope everybody can join in that and share those names and get that out there.
Mm-hmm. And that'll be in November.
Yeah.
So you have plenty of time to prepare. But thank you so much for joining us. And we hope you have had a nice weekend. And we will see you next Sunday.
Yes, we will. Yeah. Hold on. Got a little technical problem here. Again, thank you. We love you all.
Yes,
and
love you guys.
We'll see you in chats, and we'll talk to you next Sunday.
Yep.
Thanks for joining us for this quick show.
Thank you.
And remember to honor the fallen.
Yes.
Thank you very much for that.
Yes, thank you.
And we will see you next week.
All right. Good night, guys.
Good night, everybody.